Mano Bhunaktu Saha Viryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Yeah, so from the first one we'll chant. Namah Shri Shankarananda Guru Padambujambhane Savilasa Mahamoha Graha Grasaika Karmane. 15 together. Swasthana samsthito deepaha sarvato bhasayed yatha sthirasthayi tatha sakshi bahirantah prakashayed. Bahirantar vibhagoyam dehapeksho na sakshini Vishaya Bhakya Deshasthaha Dehasyantarahan Kriti Antasthadhi Sahai Prakshaihi Bahiryatif Punah Punaha Bhasya Buddhistha Chanchalyam Sakshinyaropyate Vritha. Now let us just discuss the characters involved here. How many characters are here? No, not in the metaphor. In here, internal. So Sakshi, Buddhi, and then Vishayaha. Okay. No. Sakshi, and then Idam Vritti, Aham Vritti, and then Sakshi, 3 fellows, okay? Yeah, that Natakadipa, we'll leave it for now, okay? Because he has gotten into this big discussion, Natakadipa we have seen, it was very delightful, and thankfully it was not pressed too much into service, more than needed. Very delightfully it was discussed, and what was discussed? What was discussed was that there is an inner amphitheater, and that is far more entertaining than what is happening outside. Entertaining said sarcastically, and because each time the ahankara is identifying with various things within and without, and therefore it is very, very sad, angry, and all the emotions come, to it, and it seems to be the most affected. Okay? Why? Because it has forgotten that it doesn't understand what forgotten. It doesn't understand that it is Sakshi due to self-ignorance. So what does it do? It associates with Idam Vritti sometimes, and sometimes with Aham Vritti, that is the dance. Yeah. Sometimes with the Idam Vritti, with the Vishayaha, and sometimes through the Sakshi Pratyaksha, not Sakshi. Sakshi Pratyaksha means just observing, Ikshe, Shrinomi, Jigrami, the Aham Vritti. The I-ness, meaning the I see, I hear, now hearer, now thinker, now seer, now doer, now bhokta, now karta, all these things cause a lot of, sorrow for this antahkarana, because this... in the inner theater, the ahankara, ahankriti, is associated with what? The idam and the aham vrittis. So what does it need to do? Get space and identify with the sakshi or as the sakshi. Really speaking, there are no 3 fellows. Yeah, just like there is no Jiva, Jagat, Ishvara. Here also the similar thing is there. Ahankara, Jiva. Aham vritti jiva, idam vritti jagat, sakshi ishvara, same thing. In the last class we saw there are no 3 things. There is only one thing. So the one appears to be 3. Why? Because there is dosha, drishti. There is dosha. Dosha means what? Not what you have for breakfast, that's dosa. Dosha here means a fallacy in the vision. A vision that is distorted by ignorance And because you are seeing things that are not there. That's really what it is. That is the Maya, the magic. Here, don't take Maya to be, Ishvarasya Sahakarini, Maya. No. Here, Maya simply means the magic. The magic of it all is that I start seeing things that are not there. When you start seeing things that are not there, where does one have to go? To a specialist. And here, the only solace is I'm not the only one. Everyone is seeing things that are not there. So somehow it becomes right. And somehow it becomes right. And somehow everybody joyfully, merrily, happily is making that same mistake. This is what is called adhyasa. Seeing things that are not there. And what is it that I am seeing? I am projecting. When there is one, I am projecting two more on it and therefore seeing three. And so this is the problem. And to correct this problem, even though the Nataka Deepa, the Rupaka, the metaphor was very exciting, Swami Vidyaranya doesn't want us to stay there and, wax eloquent about the theatre. Neither does he wax eloquent about the theatre, because the theatre, the inner theatre, the discussion of the inner theatre is making some very important points that he's going to take and run with it, and he already has started. The first important point is the forgotten lamp. Correct? So when people have come to the theatre to write the dance review and to review the performance, journalists have come, reviewers have come, and connoisseurs have come, Prabhu has come. Prabhu means the fat fellow in the front. Fat means inflated. Yeah, not fat appearance. Inflated with a false sense of self. So the balloon that sits in the front is called Prabhu. Very afraid anybody is carrying a pin. Afraid of insults. This is Prabhu. So this is what we have to take away, is that the lamp is forgotten and this balloon is inflated to the point of it's ready to burst. And this balloon is just hot air, literally speaking, and the hot air passes off as the Karta, as the Bhokta, as the Pramata, as everything, and it takes on the persona of all those things, takes on the persona of the Sakshi without being the Sakshi. It's a very sad and a terrible mimic, because Sakshi is unaffected, Prabhu is always boo-hoo, Prabhu is boo-hoo. So Prabhu is always crying, Prabhu is restless, Prabhu is whatever. And then this is what is called Anyonya Adhyasa. And I'll explain that, it's a technical term. But first let's enjoy this, the discomfiture of this Prabhu. What does the Prabhu do? The Prabhu identifies with what is not I, correct? Identifies with idam vritti, identifies with aham vritti, correct? And then what? And the Prabhu, that's the first problem with the Prabhu. The Prabhu does not identify with what is supposed to identify with, which is Sakshi. That is the truth of the Prabhu, the content of the Prabhu, the nature of the Prabhu is that there is no difference between the Prabhu and the Sakshi. Sakshi here is that Chaitanya, Ishvara, consciousness. And so this is what is called Anyonya Adhyasa. Atmani Anatma Adhyasa, Anatmani Atma Adhyasa. What does this mean? In the I, not I, Adhyasa. Adhyasa here is superimposition. Even though we don't like that word, sometimes you have to use it. It's not the best translation. Adhi asaha. So the definition is of adhyasa, adhi plus as to throw. It's a projection. Atasmin tad buddhi. In the not this buddhi. In the not that buddhi. So like for example, in apple, I have mango buddhi. This is what is called atasmin tad buddhi. Is this mango? No. But it's kind of orangish here. Why not say this is a mango? This is adhyasa. Does it smell like a mango? No, but if I really kept thinking about mango, perhaps it will. Adhyasa. And then atasmin tad buddhi. Buddhihi adhyasa. Seeing something that is not there and projecting something that is not there on a particular thing is called adhyasa. What is an example of adhyasa? Rope snake. Everybody knows this. Even before I finish the sentence, it comes. Sometimes the simpler questions get mangled and are not answered. Are you here? Pin drop silence sometimes. So, atasmin tad buddhi means is equal to adhyasa. And what is this, tasmin tad buddhi is knowledge. Atasmin tad buddhi is adhyasa. And here, rope snake. So, the rope has to be existent in order for the snake for it to become scary, correct? Mm-hmm. You cannot impose a snake on a non-existent rope and say, eek. That's not the general delusion. That's a different kind. That's called hallucination. Okay? Yeah, there is a small difference. Very big difference actually. So, a non-existent rope cannot become the adhisthana, because wherever adhyasa, wherever adhisthana, yatra adhyasa, tatra adhishthanasya astitvam. Adhisthana means that basis, that truth is right there. So on a non-existent rope, you cannot superimpose a snake, correct? On an existent snake, can you superimpose a snake? No. That's not adhyasa, that is tasmin tad buddhi. On the snake, I see the snake. I see snake where I am meant to see snake, correct? That's not adhyasa. And then on a non-existent rope, I see snake, hallucination. Okay? But on an existent rope, I superimpose. That's why it is called aropaha. Yeah, I put the snake, which is just in the mind, as what? Is it idam vritti or aham vritti? Thank God. Okay? Snake, aham vritti is little difficult to understand. So this idam vritti, I superimpose upon the poor rope, minding its own business on the lawn and lying there. Correct? In fact, it has been lying there. Only today, I got frightened of a snake, and the rope was conveniently there with 3 bends, and then I superimposed the snake over the existent rope. Right? Yeah. So this is what is called atasmin tad buddhi. And now we transfer to the Atma. Supposing, I say, or somebody says, I am so and so, my name is so and so, I am this many inches tall. Is the tallness Atma? No. So, this is what is called Atmani Anatma Adhyasa. Atmani, with reference to the Atma, with reference to the I, the not I is superimposed upon the I. And what is not I? Height, weight, occupation, preoccupation, all this, not I. And the not I is superimposed on the I, just like the rope snake. And one says, eek, in both cases. Yikes, I'm only this much. Horrible. Okay, but this is only half the story. The other half is Atmani Anatma Adhyasa. The superimposition of the Atma's, the Atma's Swarupa on Anatma. Like, what is an example of that? You stand in front of the mirror and you say, this is me. Very simple and very, hitting home example. You stand in front of the mirror, look at me, this is me. Is that you? No. So Atmani, in the me, What are you imposing? The not me attributes are being superimposed on the attributeless me. Right? Yeah. And this is the sorry state of our Prabhu in the inner theatre. That's why I went at length, I discussed this at length, because oh so sad Prabhu is also sad because this Prabhu, Ahankara he, Ahankriti she, she is constantly making superimpositions, attributing its own happiness on the, on the non-finite, on the finite things, and then attributing the finite dharma on itself, the infinite. Finite dharma, limited dharma, all these things. So this itself, that's why the Prabhu is very stressed out and anxious at each performance. And the buddhi keeps going out, and the buddhi happily is the gopher between the Prabhu and the idam vrittis. Buddhi goes and wraps itself around the idam vritti and saying, you know what, idam mango, not apple. Yeah. Amraphalam idam. Yeah. Smells like apple because it was kept right next to it. Yeah. So, so the buddhi is busy going and cognizing objects, and then the buddhi is trying to please the vishayas. What are the vishayas? The audience here. The buddhi is trying to get the approval of the vishayas, and sometimes going after the vishayas. Why didn't you come? Why have you neglected me? Where will I go now? So the buddhi keeps going in and out and shuttling between idam vrittis and ahankara. Busy buddhi. And in the process, the sakshi is forgotten. But it's really because of the sakshi upholds the chanchalya, the restlessness of the buddhi, the mind here, and the sakshi also upholds the sorrow of the lights up, the sorrow of the Prabhu. Why? Because the Prabhu has fallen into a vat of adhyasa and is frying like a pakoda in the oil of adhyasa, and therefore, this is also lighted up, correct? But then where is the sakshi? It's very clear that the sakshi in the dining hall, sakshi sthaniya lamp, is right in the middle. So antar bahischa bhasayet, we saw that. So if you go to the concession stand right outside the amphitheater and get some ancient popcorn to go with your show, it lights up that also, correct? But within the antakarana, where is the sakshi? Is it outside? Is it inside? Is it on the side? Where is it? And so that is a very involved discussion, more so than we think, because even though we may laugh and say, come on, what a question. Sakshi of course is all pervasive. He's going to say later, Sakshi of course is all pervasive. What is all pervasive? All pervasive means it should be everywhere at once. And so, that means, it is all pervasive means everywhere. Everywhere means space. So Sakshi is in space. So these are all very minute questions that come up, and it's an involved discussion, spanning a few verses, and it behooves us to look at them because it, any kind of vagueness, it chases out all the vagueness and any doubts that might be there within. Yeah. So then, where were we? Yeah. Swasthana samsthito deepah. So to the question, where is the sakshi? So where is the light? Swasthana, don't say it's in the middle of the auditorium. Wrong answer. So, swasthana samsthitah, being in its own place. And so where is the sakshi? In its own place. Sarvatah bhasayed yatha, just as it lights up everything. Similarly, the sakshi which is self-established, what does it do? It lights up antah and bahihi. It both lights up everything, antar and bahihi. And then Then further we saw Bahirantar Vibhagah Ayam Dehapekshaha Na Sakshini. This outside inside business is not from the standpoint of the Sakshi, but from the standpoint of what? Deha. Why? Because the Deha is the center here. The Deha, you can say, is the amphitheater itself. So since that's the central point, so from the standpoint of the Deha, you say inside, Aham Vritti, inner Vritti, Idam Vritti, outer Vritti. Like that, you make the distinction. Why? Because you have a lot of time at hand. That's the only reason. Okay. Now what? And so how to distinguish between what is Idam Vritti and Aham Vritti? Vishayaha Bhakya Deshasthaha. So anything that is in outside space is called Vishayaha and they are outside. And Dehasyantaha, in the body, is what? Ahankara. So any thought connected to the Ahankara is what? Aham Vritti. And then it is Idam Vritti. Where is Sakshi? It's neither with Aham nor with Idam, or it supports both of them without being either. Okay, and that's what it's going to say, that Sakshi, because of this repeated adhyasa, gets a bad name. Yeah, due to association. Like if some person, if there are 10 people, underage people drinking alcohol or drugs or doing something they're not supposed to do, only 9 of them are doing it and one of them is not, and there is the police come, do you think that they are going to believe the 10th one? 10th fellow is not going to be believed. They will all be taken, booked, and then some tests will be done, and then they will say, okay, nothing came out of this test, okay, you are sober, you were really not doing it, but what were you doing with this bad company? And they will give a strong warning and let the 10th person go. So, and we have seen in the other, in the other Upanishads also, Sakshi very quickly acquires a bad reputation for no fault of it. Yeah. Ritam pibantau sukrutasya loke guham pravishtav parame parardhe chaya tapau brahmavido vadanti. Where have we seen this? Huh? Gita? No? Okay. Where have we seen this? Huh? Yes, Kathopanishad. Ritam pibantau. 2 fellows, are drinking. Where? Guham pravishtav, having gone into a lonely cave. Tavern. And then what? Chaya tapau brahmavido vadan. And then what are they drinking? Ritam, a karma cocktail. Little bit of punya. Lots of papa shaken up nicely by the bartender called Chitragupta and served up. And they take one sip, both of them, we have the dual. Pibantau, present continuous, they keep on drinking. They take one sip and go, this is awful. Take another sip, slightly sweet. What's that exotic flavor? Must be some East Asian fruit. Wonderful. And then sip again. This smells of gutter. Sip again. This is so sour. This is how they just spend day and night. They don't know what is day and night because they are in a cave, holed up in a cave. They? ? 2? And then you consult the Brahmavadins, the people who know Brahman, and they say, no, only one. Then why do you say 2? Chaya and Atapa. One is the light, the other is the shadow. Okay, wait, which is drinking? One would think the light is drinking and the shadow is copying. No, only the shadow is drinking. How can the shadow drink, and what is the light doing? Minding its own business and casting the light on the shadow to show that it is drinking. How is this possible that only one is drinking and 2 are accused? That is how it is. This is called Sahavasa Dosha, the fallacy of association. And here, sthirasthai, sada, sakshi, this sakshi, which is established in itself. It is very good. It is so obedient, minds its own business. And then what happens? It is not restless at all. And then it gets bullied. By who? Buddhi. The buddhi chanchalyam, chanchalasya bhava, the restlessness of the buddhi, because buddhi keeps going in and out. In and out means what? Now I want to objectify mango, now I want to objectify apple, now I want to see flower, now I see something, now I want to eat something, now I have eaten that, what was that? All these things, the buddhi, the mind is a very busy mind. Mind is the nartaki, the dancer. So the dancer is doing elaborate footwork, going here, going there, running throughout the stage. And then what? And the poor Sakshi, which is in its own place, gets implicated for no reason and is put behind bars. That is what this one says. Sakshi aropyate. Aropyate means there is an aropa. This adhyasa is done over the Sakshi. So the Sakshi doesn't move, but Buddhi moves, and wherever there is Buddhi, Sakshi has to be there because Sakshi blesses the Buddhi, as it were. So the Sakshi is seen to be moving, poor thing, when it is not moving at all. So aropyate means it becomes a sitting duck for all kinds of superimpositions. This poor Sakshi, even though it's just minding its own business and shining the light on and bringing everything to light, what is the Sakshi doing? It is just being implicated. Vritha aropyate. Aropyate is implicated due to this adhyasa. Vritha, uselessly, embroiled, even though it just keeps bad company. That's all it is. Sakshi has fallen into, as it were, bad company, and therefore it has to reap the consequences. Has it fallen into bad company? Of course not. That is just for fun. Okay. Now, we saw this one. Antastha sahai. Along this buddhi, which is within, keeps going out along with its friends to have a good time. Who are its friends? Akshaihi, the sense organs. So the sense organs, along with them, it makes a lot of dates. Punah punaha. Then, and this buddhi, where did it get all the what is that? The fuel to go out. How did the buddhi go out? The buddhi rode on the shoulders of Sakshi. Buddhi is inert. What can it do? The buddhi got some light, from the Sakshi. It borrowed the light. And then, as I told you, when the movie finished and the credits are rolling, it was all buddhi, 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 prabhu, 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 buddhi, buddhi, buddhi. And Sakshi looks and then feels, I have been uselessly left out. Correct? Just like in the what's its name? In the movie, they say lighting so and so, correct? Yeah. Here lighting, Buddhi. Buddhi has taken the credit for lighting, screenplay, everything. But really speaking, who is the author of this whole, inner dance performance? It's the Sakshi that blesses and shines the light on this. Sakshi forgotten, and Sakshi is uselessly implicated in other ways. This is what is called Anatmani Atma Adhyasa, Atmani Anatma Adhyasa. Atmani Anatma Adhyasa here, because Sakshi is unmoving in its own place, all glory, Ishvara-esque, because it is really Ishvara. And then what is it being dragged to? It's being dragged into the mud and accused of chanchalyam. Chanchalyam means utter restlessness. It is accused of restlessness. Why? Because the Prabhu says, I am restless. I am, I'm antsy. I can't sit in one place. I'm upset. I'm disturbed. This is all, Atmani, Nirmale, Pare, Atmani, Anatma Adhyasa. nitye, shuddhe, buddhe, mukte, atmani, anatma adhyasa. This is what it is. So the anatma, when it overtakes the atma, then atma is bound and gagged, so to speak. Poor Sakshi gets embroiled in this. Okay, further. And to illustrate how this happens, how this adhyasa happens, is given in number 18. Grihantargata swalpaha. What? Okay, one more time. Grihantargata swalpaha. Gavakshadatapochalaha. Tatra haste nartyamane. Nrityati vatapo yatha. Grihantargata swalpaha. Gavakshadatapochalaha. Tatra haste nartyamane. Nrityati vatapo yatha. Very interesting example. Griha antargataha. Grihe antargataha. So that which has come into the house. What? Swalpaha atapaha. A small atapa, small sun. Beam of sunbeam. Okay. Atapaha, asamantat tapati, atapaha. That which keeps on burning is called atapa. So this sun, the sunlight, a small sliver of sunlight has entered through a ventilator up top. You know, sometimes you have a little hole in the wall or you have a skylight, correct? Yeah, so you have a skylight on the roof, a small little skylight, and through this skylight on a sunny day, a beam of light has become grihantargataha atapaha. You know, it has become a beam of light that has entered the house, you know. And what kind of a beam? Swalpaha, a small little beam of light. It's not that the whole sun is shining in big panels. No, it's a small little beam of light, tiny little beam of light has entered the house through a little skylight or an opening. A little ventilator up top near the ceiling. And where did it come from? Gavakshat. Gavaksha means ventilator, a little, skylight. And then what is this sunbeam? Is it chala or achala?
Achala.
Huh?
Achala.
Read. Is it chala or achala? Achala. That is hidden there purposely. Yeah. This is a beautiful, I don't know what this figure of speech is called, because just as one is confused whether it's chala or achala, and if you don't know the sandhis, you can say it is chala. Atapo chala. Correct? And so whether it is achala or chala, you don't know. Similarly, you really don't know whether the beam is chala or achala. So the word achala is hidden in a very beautiful, way. And so, very nice to see this. And so now, from this, so this is what is happening. So this is a very common enough occurrence. It used to happen in ancient India when he was writing, and in medieval India. It is happening now also. Sun comes through a little hole or a beam or a chink in the wall or through an opening in the skylight, and then falls in the house, in the room. No big deal. What's the big deal? Big deal is in the next line. Tatra. If tatram yatra, right where that beam is falling. Haste nartyamane. You take your hand, under that beam, and then you go like this. Do a few dance mudras with the hand. then what does it look like? You know? What does it look like? When the hand moves, it appears as though the beam is moving with the hand. But is the beam moving? Say no quickly. No. Beam ain't moving at all. Tatra haste nartyamane. Then what? You know, nrityati iva atapaha yatha. Yatha, this yatha is connected to the next verse. Okay. So, tatra haste nartyamane nrityati iva atapaha yatha. Very interesting. So, very beautiful. So, just like, so this verse is only just as a small beam of sunlight entering the house through an opening appears to move when the hand is placed under it and is moving. So with the movement of the hand, it appears to move. So this verse is only just as, okay? This is a common enough thing. And then, of course, we can extrapolate the rest even before we read the so too. So too the Sakshi, which is what? Moving or unmoving? Let's decide. Unmoving. Everybody has wisened up after a few false starts. So unmoving. So too the unmoving Sakshi, in fact it's neither moving nor unmoving, it simply is. Moving only from my standpoint, correct? So it just simply is. There's no question of moving, changing, nothing. Why should I look for it to move? Because I'm expecting things to move, but it doesn't move. So I call it unmoving. And so too this unmoving Sakshi, what happens to it? It also is seen to be moving. Why? Because Buddhi comes and dances in its light. So it looks to be moving along with the Buddhi. Buddhi goes like this, Sakshi goes like this. So it appears to be moving along with the Buddhi. That is the second, the two are in pairs. Let us look at the second one. Nijasthana sthita sakshi. Bahirantargamagamau. Akurvan buddhi chanchalyat. Karoti vayatha tatha. Nijasthana sthita sakshi. Bahirantargamagamau. Akurvan buddhi chanchalyat. Karoti vatatha tatha. Yeah. So too, what is happening now? So, Nijasthana. Nija means its own self. Nija means truth. So, in its own self. So, Nijasthana sthitaha sakshi. So too this Sakshi, which is neither aham vritti, nor idam vritti, nor ahamkara, nor jagat, nothing. It is itself. In fact, none of this even exists from the standpoint of the Sakshi. Okay? So it is just happy, established in itself. It simply is. Bahir antar gama gamau akurvan. This is really just like a prose put in 2 lines. And it is passing off as poetry. Nijasthana sthitaha sakshi. Look, you can just read it like a line. Nijasthana sthitaha sakshi. Bahirantar gamaha agamau akurvan buddhi chanchalya vritha aropyate, or whatever it is. It's just like a sentence. Just put in 2 lines. It's like some modern poetry. And how is the modern poetry? First line, I am whole. Second line, third line, something. It's just prose split up. Yeah, so this is similar to that. So that's why it's easy to follow. It's not cryptic at all. thank God for us. It's not that he can't write, that's not what I'm saying. I'm actually congratulating ourselves for finding this chapter because it is easy to follow. So, Nijasthana Sthitas Sakshi. So this Sakshi is in its own place. In its own place means, what is that place? What is that place, Swaminiji? If you ask, where will I go? So that place is a non-place, okay? It is its own place means its own self. Established in its own self, then it's not really a sthana. Sthana, we look for it. We look for place because we are temporally and spatially oriented. And so, Nijasthana Sthitas Sakshi, what does it? Akurvan. What is it doing? No, it's not doing. Ask, what is it not doing? Akurvan, not doing what? Bahihi antaha gamaha agamau. It is what it is not doing is this constant going in and out. In and out of what? Is it a house cat or something? Now it's gone out, now it's come back in. Here kitty, and here now it has come back in. Okay, dinner time, and then it wants to go out and meet its other friends and tell them who's the alpha cat. Then it has gone out again. Then it has come back in. This is not, Sakshi is not kitty. And so therefore, there is neither going in nor coming out. There is no going nor coming. In fact, it is itself. It is a self-established as itself in itself. There is neither going in nor coming, there is neither going out nor coming in frequently. Who goes out and comes in? Buddhi. Buddhi is the kitty, okay? That goes out and comes in. Sakshi doesn't do that. Buddhi is constantly busy because it sees something, it has to objectify, it has to use the sense organs, and the sense organs, via the sense organs, it takes a free ride and goes and touches something. And then it uses, like I said, the sense organs are enslaved by the Buddhi. Buddhi is enslaved by the Ahankara. And it's a wonderful dysfunctional codependent family unit. Each one trying to scratch the other's back. This is the inner amphitheater for you. Thank God for Sakshi. Sakshi neither goes out nor comes in. Just like what? Did the sun come in? Did the sunlight come in? No. It just accidentally looks like it has come in the house. Is the sunlight outside the house? You can't say it's outside the house. You can't say it's in the house. But again, you cannot say it's not in the house. And you cannot say it's not outside either. Exactly in the same manner, Sakshi neither goes out nor comes in. It's the Buddhi that keeps zipping in and out. And then what happens? Akurvan. But what happens? Buddhi chanchalyat. But because of the restless movement of the Buddhi, which keeps objectifying objects, karoti iva tatha tatha. Tatha tatha means appo. At that time. It can also be yatha tatha, but tatha tatha is appropriate here. So it looks like it is doing. What is it doing? The act of going in and coming out. Without performing the act of going in and coming out, it looks as though it's going in and coming out, just as in our example. Don't forget the example. Just like in our example, the sun is coming in and then going out, and the sun is dancing when the hand is dancing. Similarly, when the Buddhi goes out, Sakshi says, I better follow, I have to babysit the Buddhi. Not like that. It's not that the Buddhi is, in a little pram and the Sakshi is wheeling the pram in and out. No. The Buddhi just goes, but the Buddhi has no existence outside of the Sakshi. Please understand this. The Buddhi is illumined by the Sakshi, is sustained by the Sakshi, rises out of the Sakshi as it were, and then resolves into the Sakshi that he's going to talk about later too. So really speaking, without Sakshi, is there Buddhi? No. Without Buddhi, is there Sakshi? Yes. Exactly, that's the point here. This is what is called what is that,
B is A is not.
Yeah, B is A is not B. No, that is not what I was thinking. There is one more thing. It will come back later. So, this is what it is. So, that's the law of concomitance. It's a nyaya of concomitance. So, one is there, another is there. You know, A is there, B is there. A is not there, B is also not there. Therefore, B is dependent on A. But what about A? A has nothing to do with B. That is what the whole thing is. But there is a Anvaya Vyatireka. That's what I was trying to say. Anvaya Vyatireka. So Anvaya Vyatireka, it's a beautiful verse here. Anvaya Vyatireka Bhyam Nishprapancham Prapanchate. There is a very nice saying which is the quintessence of Vedanta. Nishprapancham, that which is without a second, is populated, prapanchate, through this Anvaya Vyatireka. Sakshi is there, Buddhi is there, and then Buddhi's daughter is there, Buddhi's son is there, misconceptions are there, fears are there, tears are there, everything is there. Sakshi not there, none of these are there, because they are all a mithya. The whole brood is a brooding mithya, and so they are all resolved. Sakshi alone remains. Just like in the example, the hand becomes still, and the light also is still, and the hand moves in the light, and the light appears to move because the light is illumining the movement of the hand. Similarly, the Sakshi, without going anywhere, because it is all pervasive, illumines the shenanigans of the Buddhi and then gets the aropa and gets the adhyasa, saying you are the one that is moving. And therefore the person concludes, today I am very disturbed, today I am very restless. Right? Yeah, so this is what the example is all about. Now, from the standpoint of the Sakshi, what is happening? Couple of typos. Antargate and Nrityamane. Nartyamane and Antargate. Where is Antargate? Grihantargate. Grihantargataha it should be. Let me check in. I always carry another one just for the fun of it. Just so that we can check it up. Which verse is this? 18. I will check it up. Grihantargataha Swalpa. Nartyamane. Nrityati iva. Nartyamane Nrityati iva. Okay. And if you are following this, which is uploaded, then you will have the same version. Yeah. Okay. Now, next one. Nabahyo nantaras sakshi.
Nabahyo nantaras sakshi.
Buddher deshe hitavubhau.
Buddher deshe hitavubhau.
Buddhyadya shesha samshantau.
Buddhyadya shesha samshantau.
Yatra bhatyasti tatra saha.
Yatra bhatyasti tatra saha.
Nabahyo nantaras sakshi.
Nabahyo nantaras sakshi.
Buddher deshe hitavubhau.
Buddher deshe hitavubhau.
Buddhyadya shesha samshantau.
Buddhyadya shesha samshantau.
Yatra bhatyasti tatra saha.
Yatra bhatyasti tatra saha.
So, this is continuing on the point that the quote-unquote inside and quote-unquote outside are spatial concepts. And what is the connection of space to the Sakshi? Yeah. What is the relationship of Sakshi to space?
Space depends on Sakshi.
Space depends on Sakshi. In fact, Sakshi, author of space. Space, a mere production, as though production of the Sakshi. So therefore, the whole question is the Sakshi in or out? It doesn't make, it's like a painter has painted the painting. Correct? Are you in the painting or out of the painting? Makes no sense at all. Correct? But this shows the relentless orientation of the mind, and because of the effect of adhyasa, because aropa also, same thing. So because of the effect of adhyasa, and what is this adhyasa? Atasmin tad buddhi. Sakshini, asakshini buddhi. Asakshi buddhi. So in the sakshi, so to speak, I use the sakshi. The sakshi is the rope. And then on this sakshi rope, I conjure so many kinds of snakes, boa constrictor, this, that, everything. And not only that, I also throw space on the sakshi and wonder if the snake is inside or outside. What to do? This buddhi has to be taught about the sakshi, the ahankara has to be tied up and made to sit down. And, so therefore he's spending a lot of time on this. And then what does he say? He says that na bahyaha, na antaha, na antaraha. Sakshi, very easy. The witness is neither outside nor inside. Na bahyaha and na antaha. Why? Because tau ubhau, both of them, who are these two?
Inside.
Yeah, inside and outside. Okay? Tau ubhau buddher deshe he yasmat, because they belong, this space, this spatial difference is from the standpoint of the buddhi, not from the standpoint of the sakshi. They are the concept of the buddhi. It's a spatial concept is where? Where is the thought of space? It's a thought. It's idam vritti. It's the product of the buddhi. Space thought is space thought. Space is space thought is. Right? Yeah. Space consciousness is. You see how the sakshi is appropriated? And where is this space? It's very interesting. The idam vritti is happening. And in the process of the idam vritti is not independent of sakshi. And therefore the sakshi is co-opted, and then there is a big question mark, are you in or are you out? So tau ubhau, bahihi and antaha, both of them are from the standpoint of who? Buddhi. Natu sakshini, not from the standpoint of the sakshi. And then buddhir deshe hitau ubhau. And then what? How do you know this? When, buddhi adi ashesha means completely without any residue, samshantau, when without any residue, the activities of the buddhi come to rest, samshanti, where? In sleep. In sleep, is the buddhi outside or inside? Where is the buddhi? Where is the sakshi? Is it outside in sleep or inside in sleep? Buddhi has retreated into a causal sphere, correct? So the operations of the buddhi have ceased. You ask the person, a sleeping person, 2 plus 2. Come on. This is easy. 2 plus 2. How many fingers am I holding up? Come on. Do you hear this noise? You make some clicking sounds, snapping sounds of the finger right next to the ear. And you try to, ask the person. And you can ask some other questions also. So, you ask the person. And, one person can ask the other person. So, shall we spend the whole salary on whatever I want to buy? Buddhi doesn't protest. How many fingers am I holding up? Buddhi doesn't know how to count. Tattvamasi. Buddhi doesn't respond. Why? Snoring is going on. Yeah. Snoring is going on. So the buddhi is far, far away. See, here is the spatial concept. So it's far, far away. It appears from the sakshi. All there is the preponderance of the sakshi. Buddhi gone. Buddhi not there, because any of the even the simple buddhi operation, what is this? It cannot say. And even our favorite, you know, Kim Tat, what is this? Buddhi could care less. Buddhi not available. This is what is called classic Anvaya Vyatireka. Anvaya and Vyatireka. Vyatireka means absence. You know, Anvaya is the what is that? Invariable presence. You know, Anvaya, invariable presence. Vyatireka, in the opposite situation. So this is how the law of invariable concomitance, if you want to translate it. A is there, B is there. S is there, Sakshi is there, D is there, Buddhi is there. B is not there, S is still there. Which is real? S is real. You know, B is put a cross on it. That's all. That's what it is. So, buddhyadi ashesha samshantau, when the buddhi ceases its operation, and you keep shaking the person, still the person doesn't wake up. And then what? What do you see? You don't see anything. But what do you see? What happens is that buddhyadi ashesha samshantau, where is the sakshi when the buddhi is not there? Huh?
It never ceases.
Where is the sakshi? Yatra bhati asti tatra saha. This is very important. Where is the sakshi? Then the question is, what is it illuminating? It's illuminating the absence of buddhi. Correct? So, because just like the lamp is illuminating when everyone has gone, here buddhi has gone home. Buddhi is the dancer. Buddhi bye-bye. And the bye-bye-ness of buddhi, the sakshi is shining the light upon. Fantastic. It's so fascinating. This is very nice. So, you can't ask where is the sakshi, because the sakshi is right there. Whatever needs to be cognized, it cognizes. And if it has to quote unquote go somewhere to cognize something, it goes there also as though without going anywhere. You know, it appears to follow the buddhi. Without following the buddhi, it just blesses the buddhi from a distance. But it looks like it's following the buddhi. So best thing to do to find out where the sakshi is, disconnect the buddhi, put the fellow to sleep. Put the fellow to sleep, and buddhi was the dancer. Dancer has, packed up her vanity and gone home. Correct? Vanity kit, right? Yeah. Vanity, pun intended. Dancer has gone home. And then you cannot ask the question, the lamp was appearing to follow the dancer on the stage. Now that the dancer is not there, where is lamp? Lamp is right there. In fact, because of the lamp, you cognize the absence of the dancer. Abhavepi bhasayet. We saw that earlier. So that which bhasayet shines bhava and abhava. Bhava not to be confused with bhava. Bhava is bad news. Samsara. Bhava, existence. Converting bhava into bhava, ahankara's job. Simple. Scratches out the vriddhi. It shortens that and makes it bhava. Okay? And so, here you cannot ask where is sakshi. Whatever is being shown upon, that's where the sakshi is. Whatever is being cognized, in that point of cognition, the sakshi exists and it just lights everything. But what does it do? Will it feel bored if there is nothing to light up? It lights up the boredom also. If you say, I'm bored, and what are you really saying? You're saying, the witness consciousness is lighting up my boredom. That's all it's saying. That's all you are saying. I think my buddhi is not functioning today. I have brain fog. This is a new concept. Brain fog. I have brain fog. Outside fog, idam vritti. Inside fog, aham vritti. I have brain fog. So when you say I have brain fog, in fact there is no fog. Yeah. Why there is no fog? Of course there is fog. What do you mean? Because the fog is lit up. So what is lighting up the fog? Non-fog. Correct? Non-fog is as though lighting up the fog, and when the fog comes to light, there is no fog. No, but I still cannot think. It's not that you cannot think. You are thinking that you cannot think. You are observing that right now I feel a little unclear. You are observing that, and the one who is observing that is all knowledge, Sakshi. You see, this is there is brain fog, aham vritti, correct? Yeah, and then the Sakshi shining the light on the brain fog, I observe, I witness that there is some disturbance in the clarity of my thought process or my thinking. Sakshi, unaffected, asanga, and yatra bhati, asti tatra saha. Wherever it bhati, there it asti. And so therefore, what is the message here? Identify with the Sakshi in the break. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om.
Shri Gurubhyo Namaha.
Harihi Om. Just 5 minutes, we'll come back. 5-10 minutes at the most, okay?
Karatama says Namaste Swami.
Yeah, she was here, now she's there.
Oh, Karyana Sundram.
Yeah, wonderful. Very nice. The next one is a tongue twister. That's what I'm reading. Yeah, the question here is Adhyasa, are Adhyasa and Mithya Jnanam synonymous? Kind of. Mithya Jnanam is, I don't know what you are meaning by that. So Mithya Jnanam is knowledge, here Adhyasa means confusing Mithya for Satyam. Yeah. And if that's what you mean by Mithya Jnanam, then you are correct. I don't know what you are meaning. Are you there? Or they have also gone for break. I don't think they are here. When they come back, I will talk about it. Oh no, they are here. Okay. So, confusing Satyam, for Mithya and Mithya for Satyam, here is called Anyonya Adhyasa. And so, Adhyasa here means Atmani Anatma Adhyasa, juxtaposing or projecting the attributes of Anatma on the Atma, like height, weight, etc., and saying, I am this tall, I am this, look at me, etc. And then, Atma Dharma. Atma is free of Dharma, but still, Atma Swarupa, Satchidananda, not being recognized, is transferred to finite things, and such as the body, etc. So these are the two kinds of, this is what it is, Adhyasa, and the definition is what? Atasmin tad buddhi. Describing the reality of the object. So it's a reality statement. So when I say pot is mithya, what I'm saying, I'm not making a comment upon the color of the pot or the state of the pot. I am commenting upon the nature of its existence. So mithya means dependent reality. Adhyasa is a projection. A wrong is a mistake. Mithya is more of an objective definition of a dependent reality. And mithya has two definitions. One is adhishthana ananyat. So that which is never away from its truth, because it depends on that. Never away from the source, never away from the vastu. And the second definition is, it's a reality that can be neither confirmed nor denied, and that is expressed in Sanskrit as anirvachaniya. Sad asad bhyam, it's hanging between sat and asat, is and is not. So it's a reality that's an as though reality that cannot be confirmed, neither can it be denied. Okay? So therefore, what do? So therefore this mithya has to be resolved in terms of my understanding. So once I recognize it's mithya, then it is enjoyable actually, because I'm not expecting it to be satyam. Okay? Yeah. I have no expectations other than to, like I said in the morning, when creation is seen as recreation, then it's fun. When creation is seen as mithya, it becomes recreation. Yeah. Otherwise it becomes a big, support group of crying people. That's what it becomes. So that is mithya. Adhyasa is actually the projection, my own projection due to wrong understanding of mithya onto satyam. That is what is adhyasa. Yeah. So when when I'm not seeing the mithyatvam, I attribute it as satya. That is called adhyasa. And then on the satya, I attribute mithya. That is also adhyasa. Those are the two kinds. Okay? Yeah. Om Sahana Bhavatu Sahana Bhunaktu Saha Viryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahai.
Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.
Yeah. Now we are into another soup. Yeah. Just as you thought you have resolved, one more issue comes up. And again it's an inside-outside issue. Okay? In other words, it's a sad little spatial issue, a little shesha or a lesha of space, a little leftover of space. And so what is this issue? This issue is as follows. Now, where did we leave off the last verse? Where does the Sakshi exist? It exists where it shines. Okay? So what is it shining its light on? Absence. And then now what is it shining the light on? Buddhi is waking up and rubbing its eyes. It is shining the light on the presence. It shines the light on presence and absence, and it as though follows the buddhi when it goes out, and then it follows as though the buddhi when it comes back in. And then so Sakshi is neither inside nor outside, or both inside and outside. Do you agree from what we have seen?
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Do you also agree that we can now bring a new concept and say Sakshi is all pervasive. In other words, Sakshi is everywhere. There is no place where it is not. Right? So Sakshi is everywhere. So this, there is no place where it is not. So once we have concluded like this, one would think that this would be an effective ending to this particular inside-out argument that has been really made inside out. Right? No. Because a Purva Pakshi who was just passing through, inside, out, who was just passing through outside, came inside, and the Purva Pakshi poses a question. First we have to understand what Purva Pakshi is. Purva Pakshi means an opponent. We welcome opponents, okay? Unlike the rallies of certain politicians. And so, in Vedanta, we welcome opponents. We are not gagging them. So therefore, we are happy. Ajao, come. What do you have to say? That's why we welcome questions. We are not, shy of questions and questioners. This is not a belief-based system where after every 3 sentences you have to just, shut up the questioner. Where is God? In heaven. Who made heaven? God made heaven. Where was God before he made he? Okay? Formless, but he. And occupies space also called heaven. Where was God before he made heaven? And the child will say, was he in hell? So why did God make hell for himself? Shut up, you don't understand anything. So God created the world, right? Yes, beta. This is the father telling the child. Whether it's a church father or a home father, sometimes it's both. Father in the church, father in the home. Also, they are Protestants, they are like our priests, they are grahasthas. So then the father in the church who has come home and the son is questioning the father, where is God, etc. Then the son asks another question. God took 6 days to make the earth? Yes. And on the 7th day he put light? Yes. So without light, how could there be days? Because it was dark all the time. These are the mysteries of God. This is not a tradition like that. Here the questioners are welcome and they are answered also, and then that's why the student goes to the teacher with questions. The student doesn't, have a way of asking the question. It's called samvada. Is not in the face of the teacher, and fights with the teacher. There's nothing to fight with. Here the questions are put and answered. But then there are, for every question that is articulated, there are at least 10 unarticulated questions. Coming from the subconscious, coming from the unconscious, coming from all those hidden nooks and crannies where one is rebelling against Vedanta. But if those questions don't come out, how are they asked? We ask those questions in the part of the text and the commentary and analysis of the text, so that it is, it serves to firm up the knowledge and patch up the areas which need a little more tamping, which need to settle down. So the Purva Pakshi must not be, dismissed, must be engaged with properly so that Vedanta prevails, No, but isn't that unfair? Purva Pakshi should be winning sometimes. If Purva Pakshi wins, that means all our wrong notions are winning, because the Purva Pakshi is the embodiment of the wrong notions. And so here the Purva Pakshi, as soon as we sat down with the wonderful feeling, all pervasive Sakshi, yatra asti, tatra bhati, yatha tatha, tatha tatha, is everywhere, is everything. Oh, this wonderful oceanic swimmy feeling. Suddenly the Purva Pakshi comes and what should I say, disrupts this peace. Let us see what the Purva Pakshi says. Deshak kopi na bhaseta
Deshakopi na bhaseta
yadi tarhyastva desha bhak
Yadi tarhyastva desha bhak
sarvadesha prakriptaiva.
Sarvadesha prakriptaiva.
Don't think, just chant, then it will come. Sarvadesha prakriptaiva
Sarvadesha prakriptaiva
sarvagatvam natu svataha.
Sarvagatvam natu svataha.
Yeah. So, now the Purva Pakshi says, catches on to the last verse. What was established in the last verse, we have to see. The cessation of the buddhi, correct? Yeah. So, in the event of the samshanti of the buddhi, like sleep, so, buddhyadi ashesha samshantau yatra bhati asti tatra saha. This was what was discussed. Now, what was discussed? That in the event of the buddhi not being there, Sakshi shines, and shines even on the fact that the buddhi is not there. Therefore, Sakshi rocks, Sakshi rules, Sakshi is all pervasive. This is what we had concluded. And this is what is contested by the Purva Pakshi here, who says, Deshaha kopi na bhasetha yadi tarhi. Tarhi means, in the event of the fact, tarhi, if what? There is no thing called space. Your space, see, the word all pervasive is from a spatial standpoint or not? That's what the Purva Pakshi is catching hold of. Your all pervasiveness includes all. Does it include up? Yes. Does it include down? Yes. Left? Yes. Right? Yes. All the cardinal directions? Yes. All the non-cardinal directions? Yes. Purastat, Pashchatat, Uttaratat, all these things, all the directions, it includes. And are the directions space or not? Yes. And does all pervasive include inside and outside? Yes. So really speaking, even though you are saying, you think that you have come to a wonderful conclusion that space is all pervasive, and therefore you don't have to worry about inside and outside. And you feel you have transcended space, but no, you are still stuck in space because all pervasive is a spatial definition. This is his contention. It's like saying that, what is this pot? This pot is clay. Fruit of this pot is clay, right? So if I were to say, if the Purva Pakshi here were to say, clay is, the pot is not, this is not pot at all, this is just clay. In fact, clay has not created pot. Then what would the Vedantin say? Let it be so. Easier for us. Astu. Tarhi means so what? And what if? Astu. Astu adesha bhag. Let it not be spatial. We don't want Sakshi to be spatial. Then why are you saying all pervasive? We don't care if the Sakshi is spatial or non-spatial. We are only talking to your buddhi, who is looking for some spatial component. And we are giving these lectures and we are writing this Panchadashi in a manifest universe where space is the primary dividing factor along with time. So everything is divided in space. And so we are catering to an audience that is completely bought into space as an absolute. In other words, space has become Satyam. And so therefore, the mithyatvam of space has to be shown. And the mithyatvam of space that the space too is a dependent reality is shown by calling Sakshi all-pervasive. So the all-pervasive epithet is intended to transcend space, not to underscore it. This is very important. Just like pot is clay, that statement is given to transcend this pot and understand its truth, to establish the mithyatvam, the mityaness of this pot, and to understand its truth, which is clay. We are not trying to quibble with you and to have an argument that whether the pot is created or not. It doesn't matter. Pot exists in space, space exists in pot, all this, that's not the issue here. Here the Sakshi doesn't have a particular place. That's what we want to show. And since the minds of the people who are reading this is completely ensconced in some concept of space, so the first way to remedy, the first level or the first step of the remedial measure is to remove all spatial connotations by including all spaces. Very interesting. This is a very interesting method. You include all spaces and then you transcend it. Correct? So like when you ekena mritpindena sarvam mrinmayam vijnatam bhavati. By studying one lump of clay, the whole world of earthenware is as good as known. Correct? In the same way, so by including all the concepts of space, then you transcend that also. First you include it, because without including it, you cannot seem to understand this Sakshi. Where is this Sakshi? And so we say it's all pervasive. This witness, which is you, is all pervasive. And then they ask a question, how to experience the all pervasive Atma? How to experience? It is not an object. So how to experience the subject? The one that is asking the question is already experiencing. It's not an object, it is the truth of the subject. In fact, when we say it is not an object, that is also a relational category. It is the subject. Subject is in relation to object. Because it is mistaken for the object, we are constrained to say subject. Because there is something to witness, we are constrained to say Sakshi. No, but when the buddhi is asleep, it's cognizing the sleep, it's cognizing the absence of the buddhi and its own presence, and so therefore it is called Sakshi. But really, Sakshitvam, the witnessing nature, is also an incidental attribute, an incidental so-called attribute which has been imposed upon the attribute-less Atma. And where is the Sakshi? How to harness and experience and go for a ride on this all-pervasive Sakshi? That is also, an attribution on the attribute-less Atma. That's why any discussion becomes a moot point. Because first we have to find out how to teach. And then as we teach, we have to keep on explaining ourselves. And then that's why, the extra classes are needed. Because you have to explain what you are saying to make sure you are understood. Because otherwise, it's not just about sitting here and coming out with catchy terms. It's not about catchy terms. In fact, it's nothing to catch. That's what you have to understand, is that this is not something to catch as an object. It is the nature of you. And what you, not the one that stands in front of the mirror and says me. No. The one that is remaining after all these concepts and attributes have been taken away cognitively. The one that remains after, this afternoon we shook out the Jiva, correct? Who had rolled in the mud of Ragadveshas, in the haystack and everything, shook him out. Yeah, shook the fellow out, and what remained, all this sorrow and all the torn clothing, the various begging bowls collected, fadar, they dropped down, and then what was remaining was Satchidananda consciousness, Sakshi. And so the Sakshi is taught in various ways. And all pervasive is to negate a particular space. So it's not, when you say all pervasive, it's not the nature of the Sakshi. It is to negate a concept mistakenly attributed to the Sakshi. This is all neti, 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 neti. 9/10 neti and then 1/10 iti. That's all it is. Most of the time is spent in ridding the rope of the snake. Ridding all aropa from the rope and then seeing the rope for what it is. But then, why is this needed? Because even though it's a rope snake, it has scared you, right? What is the difference between two people? One who was scared by a real snake and one who was scared by a rope snake. Is there any difference from the quality of the fear? No. It's the same fear. No, but that was only rope. Only later I know. At the time of getting scared, I don't know. It may as well have been a real snake, but even though it was a mental snake that was projected onto the rope, or whether it was a snake, quote-unquote real snake, it matters not. Because the fear is the same, and to dismiss the fear, all these upayas are deployed. And so here in this chapter, several upayas, and very beautiful, is this trifold, distinction of Jiva, Jagat and Ishvara from the standpoint of one's own body, mind, sense complex. Jiva is what? Ahankara here, correct? And then Ishvara, Sakshi, Jagat, Idam Vritti, Aham Vritti, Idam Vritti, Sakshi, enough. Whole chapter is revolving around that. How they dance and how they, go after the false lures of the Vishayas and the Raga, Dvesha, etc. And all this, very beautifully, the whole thing is created to dismantle the notions of that the Sakshi has a particular place, that the Sakshi has a particular white light, yellow light, green light. Sakshi is light. And I saw light, I heard a sound. Where? In meditation. Must have been the doorbell ringing. Go answer it, No, I heard an internal sound. You're hungry. Go eat. So, you can't hear. If you heard a sound, that's not Sakshi. That's not all pervasive. It's only stomach space pervasive. Yeah. And is that inside or outside? You decide. So, what do you tell this Purva Pakshi? That this is a teaching moment. That this is not the ultimate definition of Sakshi, that it is all pervasive. We are not trying to define Sakshi, we are trying to negate all the wrong notions that have stuck on to the poor Sakshi like barnacles. Yeah. Being in the water of samsara for too long, the Sakshi, those barnacles that grow on the side of ships and all. Like that, the Sakshi seems to have accumulated as it were, a few barnacles bobbing up and down in the waters of samsara, and what we are trying to do is peel off those barnacles. And so because one is spatially oriented, we are forced to say all pervasive. Because one is oriented by time, we have to say limitless. Because one is oriented object-wise, we have to say it's not any particular object. It sustains all the objects without being any one object. Because it is mistaken to be, full of tears and fears, we have to say it is free of shoka and bhaya. Those are not its attributes. That is just a description, keeping in view, making central my own ignorance. From the standpoint of one's ignorance, all these negations are needed. And this is what is being told to the Purva Pakshi. Astu adesha bhak. Let it have no space. Oh, you mean you're ready to get rid of space? Absolutely, starting with the one in your head. So, No problem. Let us get rid of the space, especially the one in your head, because then you start thinking properly. And then what? Astu adesha bhak. Adesha bhak means that which doesn't, that which remains without space. Let it remain without space. Like the clay is remaining without creating pot, let the pot be uncreated. We don't care. Sarvadesha prakriptya eva. Prakriti means, imagination. A concept. So Prakriti is a mental concept. So this concept has arisen in the mind. Sarvadesha prakriptya eva sarvagatatvam. So sarvagatatvam, the all-pervasiveness, is not from the standpoint of the Sakshi. The all-pervasiveness is from the standpoint of you. Sarvadesha praklipti, what does it say here? Same thing. Praklipti eva sarvagatvam natu swataha. Yeah, it's correct. So, if one were to say, if the Purva Pakshi says that when the buddhi ceases, there is no space, then what we would say? Let there not be any space. We don't have a commitment to space. Please, where is our commitment? Sakshi, not space. So let there not be space. All pervasiveness is manokalpa. It is a kalpana by the mind. It's a concept of the mind. Consciousness is not all pervasive. Oh, but just now you said it's all pervasive. That's because you were wondering whether it was inside or outside. I had to say something. Oh, so it is not all pervasive? No. Okay, so then is it outside or inside? Where is it? See, this is the spatial orientation. Where? Kutra. Because this is the seeker's lament of looking for that as an object while it is just you. We can't even say subject, because that's again an oppositional consciousness. So this where is a futile quest. That's why it said, yes, yatra bhati tatra asti. Wherever it shines, there it is. Oh, so it is everywhere? Yes. What do you mean it's everywhere? You are still stuck in space. I am stuck in space because you are stuck on me. So therefore, I have to do something here. So here he clarifies, Vidyaranya Swami clarifies here, Sarvadesha Prakriti eva sarvagatatvam. So it's a mental concept. The mental concept of all spaces, first you wonder whether Sakshi is inside or outside. Then upon being assured it is neither inside nor outside, both outside, inside, then you come up with this new concept called all-pervasiveness. And you attribute that over the Sakshi. And then you say, Sakshi is Sarvagata. From the standpoint of the fact, without, because you cannot get over your spatial orientation, that's why we have to come up with Sarvagatatvam, that Sarvatra Gacchati, it goes everywhere without really going anywhere. But if you are ready to drop space as an absolute concept, as an absolute reality, and think of it as a concept, like Einstein did. He was the one who said space and time, are warped. They are relative, they are not absolute. But here, space and time are mithya, we have made them into satyam. And so the poor teacher here is trying to teach in this chapter, and is, constantly wondering how to present this. How to shake off this, the satyatvam that is attributed to space here. And when you shake it off, then the Sakshi stands on its own. If you are not ready to shake it off, then we have a upaya, all-pervasiveness. So the all-pervasiveness is a mental concept, just like space. It's a creation. It's an imaginary concept for something that is beyond description, literally speaking, spatially. It's beyond description spatially because it is not oriented in that way at all. It's the author of space. And so therefore, I am trying to do something here the person says, and so I have come up with Sarvagatattvam only from the standpoint of your mind that is refusing to accept space as relative. Because you are seeing space as absolute, I have to say all pervasive. And you seem to understand before you came back here at me again. So, natu swataha. So the Sakshi's description, the description of the Sakshi as all pervasive is still from the standpoint of your pen chant for everything spatial, not from its own standpoint. And thankfully, in the next mantra, in the next verse, this whole inside-outside business is, I think, coming to a nice conclusion. Let us hope. Okay? Yeah. Antarbahirva sarvam va
Antarbahirva sarvam va
Yam desham parikalpayet
Yam desham parikalpayet
Buddhistadeshagas sakshi
Buddhistadeshagas sakshi
Tatha vastushu yojayet
Tata vastushu yojayet
Antarbahirva sarvam va
Antarbahirva sarvam va
Yam desham parikalpayet
Yam desham parikalpayet
Buddhistadeshagas sakshi
Buddhistadeshagas sakshi
Tatha vastushu yojayet.
Tata vastushu yojayet.
Yeah. So the mind is refusing to be free of the concept of space, and therefore now it is concluded. Let us agree. Not to disagree, but let us agree. Okay? Yeah. What shall we agree? Antarva bahirva. Whether it's your outside or inside. Okay? Sarvam va, or whether it's all pervasive. Let us put everything together. All concepts of up, down also we can add. Inside or outside, everywhere or here, up or down, left or right, east or west, north or south, in between, northwest, northeast, southwest, everything. Yes, let us all live happily, ever after by, reconciling this concept of space. And what shall we do here? Sarvamba, yam yam desham parikalpayet. So what he's wanting to do is a brilliant thing. He's illustrating that even now as we are engaged in a discussion of space, when I say outside, Sakshi is illuminating outside even though I am still here. Am I inside or outside? Well, you are inside Eugene, but outside of New York. Very interesting. This outside, inside is so relative. So, if supposing I'm sitting here, correct? And then we are having a charcha, a discussion on outside and inside. So, when I say outside, then immediately the buddhi has gone outside, even though I'm sitting inside, correct? And along with the buddhi, Sakshi also has appears to have run outside, right? Here kitty. And then I say inside, and then buddhi comes back inside to objectify the word inside and all that it might represent. And then when I say all pervasive, then the buddhi is everywhere, Sakshi is also everywhere, correct? So here it's a beautiful illustration of what is being discussed. And what he is saying is that as we sit here talking about inside, outside, this side, that side, Sakshi is illuminating those things. Yam yam parikalpayet. Whatever we are parikalpofying, imagining, sitting here, I can imagine something. Sakshi the buddhi first goes there effortlessly, along with the akshas, the indriyas, and then Sakshi also goes there. That's why it's called manojava, the speed of the mind. The speed of the mind is quite, tade jati tanne jati taddure tadvantike tadu antaha tadu bhakyaha, like this in the Ishavasya Upanishads. Tade jati, oh it moves. Tannejati, na ejati, no, it doesn't move. Tad dure, it appears to be very far. Tadvantike, no, it's very near. Tadantaha, it's inside. Tadbahyaha, it's outside. Tadsarvagaha, it is everywhere. These are all sorry mental concepts. And the beauty of it is, even these limited concepts, it is immediately illuminating. So if I sit here, I can think of outside, no effort at all. Sakshi goes, illumines and blesses the buddhi that has already stepped out. Sitting here, I can think of Mozambique. It lights up Mozambique. There is no distance at all. Sitting here, I can think of India. Sitting in India, I can think of some other place. Sitting here, I can think of New York. No need to fly for 5 hours. Come, I'm already there. I have reached. So, why have I reached there? Because of not the power of the buddhi, the power of Sakshi. So really speaking, let us agree that regardless of whether it's in, regardless of inside, outside, etc., whatever we say, it illumines. So if space is a concept, it illumines that concept. And so whatever is talked about, buddhihi taddeshagaha, taddeshe gacchati. So the buddhi says, I'm off to Mozambique, I'm off to India, I'm off here, I'm off there. And then when it sleeps, it says, I'm off, period. So, buddhihi taddeshagaha, Sakshi is not far behind. There is a saying, when there is winter, can spring be far behind? This is just to keep up the hope in the long winters before this wonderful global warming has set in. So, if there is buddhi, can Sakshi be far behind? No. In fact, Sakshi is in the front. It's the front runner, but poor thing, everything it uselessly illumines and then no credit at all. Aropyate vritha. It's either ignored or falsely accused. Sakshi has very bad prarabdha. Sakshi doesn't have karma. That which doesn't have karma is Sakshi. This is just for fun. So then, almost as though being sick of this Purva Pakshi, he concludes, Tatha vastushu yojayet, means please apply what I have said to all the things henceforth. So if I go to Mozambique, in my mind, is the Sakshi there? Yes. What about India? Yes. What about some other place? What about England? What about Europe? Sure. What about Australia? Yes, it's there. Tatha vastushu yojayet. In other words, get a life, Go get a life. And because once it should be enough. Once it is told it's enough. Tatha vastushu yojayet. This formula, you please apply to all the things, all the places, whether it's inside, outside, innermost, pratyag or parak or everything, the same rules apply. End of argument. Yeah. And then that is now the whole inside-outside argument has been made threadbare. We have seen it in and out. Okay? And then the Shruti, the chapter is going to take a slight turn. Still same topic, but slight turn, talking more about the Buddhi-Sakshi connection. And that we will see on Friday. Wednesday is chanting.
Tuesday. Oh, yeah.
I thought it was Tuesday.
Jagadguru Upanishad.
No,
Thursday.
Tuesday is Panchadashi.
Tuesday is Panchadashi?
Yeah, Tuesday 6 to 7 is Panchadashi. Thursday is Panchadashi.
Tuesday and Thursday Panchadashi? Okay, alright. We'll see it on Tuesday. And if we finish early, then the rest will be saved for Amrita Bindu.
Oh, interesting. I see why, because last week we did Amrita Bindu.
We are alternating.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why.
Yes, so Tuesday and Thursday, we'll see that. And Saturday also, right? No, no Saturday.
Saturday is Amrita Bindu, 6.
Friday is also Amrita Bindu?
Yeah.
Okay, so Tuesday and Thursday Panchadashi. Okay.
Yeah.
Yes, I better get going with this. Yeah. But not bad. We are already in 22.
Yeah.
4 more. Yeah, we'll finish. Definitely we'll finish. No problem. Yeah.
Actually, 23, 24 goes together.
Oh, does it? Thank you. That's even better. Okay. 23, 24 goes together. And then 25, 26, we'll make it go together. Any other questions? Yeah, Friday, Saturday, Amrita Bindu. Thank you. And one more announcement I wanted to make is that Saturday, I don't know what time we will start the Valedict 3 function, so everybody attend. One more mailing will go out, because as soon as Amrita Bindu ends, we will start, as it finishes. So we will start that, so we don't know when that will be. So we will see, we'll send you a mailing on that, okay? Yeah. Oh, all the best. Have a nice evening, morning, whatever it is. Didn't say Purnamadaha? Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Harihi Om